And now we welcome on a guest that has come off about 4 months in bubbles and quarantines with series against Bangladesh, the Super 50, and capping it off against Sri Lanka in the limited over series. We're talking about West Indies and Trinidad and Tobago all-rounder Jason Nazimuddin Mohammed. Jason, welcome to Dropped Again.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You laughed there. You don't get to hear your full name very often, I guess, huh?
No, not that much.
First question I got to ask you is it Curry Goat or Goat Curry?
Curry Goat.
Curry Goat. So I saw on your story the other night, you're finally back home and you got your favorite dish, dal rice and curry goat.
Yeah.
How was that after 3.5 months, 4 months away to get that home cooked meal?
It was the best thing, man. After being away for so long, not being able to eat what you normally eat, it's always good when you come back home. Your first meal is normally something of your favorite. So I was just happy to be back home and have some of that.
And I know it must be tough because you and your lovely wife are looking forward to a new addition to the family in the coming months here as well. So how difficult was it being away from home and then obviously now coming back?
Yeah, it was obviously difficult for both of us, but more so for her. Just a couple months away from having our first baby. So I'm just happy to be back now, and hopefully I can help make the journey a lot easier for her.
It's a baby girl too. You excited about fatherhood?
Yeah, I am very excited.
Jason, Shady here, man. Thanks again, obviously, for doing this. I know we've been talking, and I'm a huge fan of yours because we played together, and I kind of was there watching you come up, and you've spent obviously some time in Canada, which we'll get to. But right off the bat, it's just kind of for me, like, just congratulations, like, bro, for playing for the West Indies. It must have been just a dream come true. Tell us about what it feels like just to be picked for the West Indies, especially after a long career, to be able to do that.
Yeah, obviously it's the greatest joy of being a cricketer from the West Indies, especially for myself. And after starting cricket at about 9 years old, was always a dream. Growing up watching Brian Lara, obviously is my hero. It was always my dream to play for West Indies, and I'm very fortunate that my dream actually came true. And every time I put that shot on it, obviously it's a big joy. It's a great feeling then to know that you had a dream and it's actually reality, and I'm still able to be doing it. So hopefully I can continue for another couple of years, but I'll always be proud of what I've done and what I've achieved.
So for us watching you on TV, all we hear when you're bowling, the keeper, come on Shadow. So can you tell us about your nickname Shadow and how it came about, and is it something recent? Because I don't ever remember hearing anyone calling you that from before.
No, it's been my name for a couple of years now. Like, some of the guys from Trinidad actually give me that name. So because of my skin color, they say I'm a little bit on the darker side, so that's why I got that name. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. I think it's something that I can say it represents me. Obviously, I'm a bit dark, from playing all that cricket in the sun, so I don't mind it at all.
I have a theory on a few things. So for me, in my head, like, your technique, it's so Mohammed Azharuddin, it's so Hyderabad, VVS Lakshman, the wrists. I've watched you come up and you've always had some of the best wrists I've ever seen. Can you tell us about, was Mohammed Azharuddin someone who you watched coming up, VVS Lakshman? Why the bottom hand? Why the wrist? Why is that such a huge part of your technique?
Yeah, obviously, I would have watched those guys. Obviously, they are some great players of the game. My dad actually named my second brother after Mohammed Azharuddin.
See, I knew there was something. Bro.
Yeah, I think it's just something that, it's the way that I grip my bat, I believe, has the most to do with it. My bat grip is a lot different from certain guys. My thumb goes straight down the bat, not wrapping around the bat. So I think that helps me a lot with the wrist. So, yeah.
I remember that from 2007 from playing against you here in Toronto, and I think we chirped you a little bit, and then you went on to score like 100 against us. So that back grip, how does that come to be? Is it just experimentation when you're younger, just trying different things, or how do you figure out that your thumb down the middle of the bat, and it's your bottom hand thumb that doesn't wrap around? Sorry, your top hand that doesn't wrap around. How do you come to put that finger down the middle of the bat?
I think it's something that just happened when I was in primary school at very young, 9 and 10. It's something that I just, was doing in the net zone a game, and it just felt comfortable. And, after moving on to under 13 and under 15, the coaches said, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever makes you perform. And, I never change it. And it's just been a habit, growing up.
That's awesome, man. And again, I just mentioned Toronto there. You spent, I think, 1 or 2 seasons here in Toronto with the Brampton Masters, and you guys dominated, obviously, at that point in time as well. Tell us about kind of what led you to Toronto and kind of your experiences once you came here.
I think my club back at Powergen was trying to do like an exchange program in terms of, some of our guys going over there and, some of their guys coming over to Trinidad. And I think our manager, Chitran Ramdising, and the late Johnny was very good friends. And, he was looking for a decent enough batsman to come to Canada. And, my manager recommended me. And and that's how it started. And it's a club I hold very dearly to my heart. Also, Johnny, the late Johnny. So, I enjoy every single moment I was in Canada, and it's something that I will always cherish no matter what I achieve, going forward in this game.
Well, so I remember that first particular tour. It was a tour match, I think, where Powergen had come down and they played against the Toronto Cricket Club. But were you already playing for Brampton Masters and you just joined them when they came? Because I remember you being there in the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, I was already playing for Masters, so it was a point just me joining the Powergen team when I was there.
And it was awesome because some of the names, and you can probably add on to some of the names in that team. We're talking like Samuel Badri. I remember Ganga. You, Sherwin Ganga. Who am I missing here? Like there were that was a stacked team of players.
Mohammed, or wicketkeeper, who also played for Trinidad.
Yeah. It was a great tour match. We were able to play you guys at the cricket club, and I think obviously we played you earlier in the season with Brampton Masters, and I think you had a decent knock. But in this particular match, you got a 70-something not out, and we had a good game. One of our guys. Shout out to my buddy AJ. He got 100 in that game. That was the biggest fucking innings of his career. And at the time he didn't even know it. Right? We're like, oh, just this team from Trinidad. We didn't know, who's like Sammy. And then you come to find out who was playing. And so shout out to him. He got 100 in that game. But that was the first time where, I got to see how you were using your wrists. I think I bowled a full 10 overs in a row at you, and I thought, man, this guy is holding the bat different. He's got different plans. Do other teams sort of obviously go about their business with plans of you in mind? Are there more leg side attacking fields? Do you find, a short mid wicket coming into play early on? How have other teams, especially I would say more in things like the Super 50 and West Indies regional cricket, where they're going to know your game inside and out, and then now on the international scene, do you find that they have different plans for you?
Yeah, obviously, they will have different plans for me. It's not more so in our local cricket, club cricket. You will find it more at our first class level, and definitely at international level, because they sort of zoom in and sort of, plan for you in every aspect, the easiest way to get you out, or the easiest way not to have you score. So it's a case where, I've changed not my grip, but my position in certain things, to always try and keep improving, because that's the only way you're going to stick around for a long period of time in this game. So
for sure,
you always have to try something, and whatever works or whatever feel comfortable, you work with it and try and get the results that you're looking for.
What about the bowling? So the bowling, I thought I was the off spinner back then. Like you have become quite the bowler, and tell us about obviously that experience, and because like the people should know, like you were never a top line front line bowler, and have now sort of almost become that. I think I would say, and I would like to know maybe if playing in Canada and the slow wickets here kind of influenced that a little bit. But tell me about the bowling, because the change in speed and the arm angles and stuff, it's working really well, man.
Well, that's also why I introduced him as an all-rounder. I had it as batsman, and then I was like, no, I just saw against Sri Lanka too. I was like, no, all-rounder it is.
Yeah, obviously it's something that obviously like doing it. Obviously adds something to a game in terms of having some overs bowl. I don't like bowling 10 overs, I can tell you that. So normally I'll bowl somewhere between 3 and 5 in a 50 over game. But obviously it's something in international cricket. If you don't click as a batsman, that often, I know I'd also to add my bowling, into my game. Obviously, it'll give me a better opportunity if I don't get runs with the bat. So it's something I've been working on a lot, and it's just nice to see it coming along and doing well. Obviously against Sri Lanka with the ball. I was never expecting to bowl 10 overs. I was never expecting to be the leading wicket taker in a series in an international setup. But obviously, I enjoy every moment of that, and hopefully I can continue bowling well. And obviously, as I said, it will definitely add a lot to my game.
You look like you really enjoy taking wickets, though. You might not want to bowl 10 overs, but you enjoy taking wickets. Tell us about those celebrations against Sri Lanka. Was it Darren Bravo that picked you up?
Yeah. Obviously, when you're bowling and when you're batting, obviously you love to score runs or you love to take wicket. Obviously, as you said about the bowling, but yeah, I enjoy every wicket that I took, and it was just something I like the Shida Freddie celebration by the feeling and raising your hands. The other part, I don't know where Mr. Bravo got that from.
So I got a bone to pick with you a little bit here. So I've been a huge fan of Imran Khan, and Imran played in Canada as well years ago. Was very successful here. For me, and I've followed West Indies cricket a lot. I played in all the youth tournaments, played against you guys a lot. For me, he's world class. Has been doing really well for a long time in all the tournaments. Why hasn't he played more games for the West Indies? Why is he not getting a chance? Like, is it something within Trinidad cricket? What is it with Imran Khan? Because I'm a huge fan of his, and I would like to see him get a shot before his career is over.
Yeah, I guess we both on the same page, because I'm a huge fan of him as well. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for him. He has been playing a little bit before me, and as you said, he's dominated right through the years. He's the leading wicket taker for Trinidad and Tobago history with over 400 wickets. It's a little bit mind-blowing to know a guy has done so well and never been given an opportunity in terms of Test cricket, at least. But I can't get too in-depth in terms of selection, but obviously right. I would love to see him at least play a Test match. He will know that all the hard work that he done over the years and all the record that he holds. Obviously, everyone's dream is to play for West Indies, and I know it's something that he has been looking forward to, and hopefully that in the next couple of years he continue doing well and they can finally say, this guy really deserves a shot, because for a man to get 400 wickets and never play a Test match, I sometimes I ask him, I don't know how he still, does it, play this cricket after going through that. It's something that it was for myself would have been overbearing. I don't think I could have handled that sort of depression, I can say, by not being selected, because sometimes when you do well and you're not selected, it's very demoralizing. And for a guy to be doing it for such a long period of time and with no reward, obviously, I know it's tough on him, but as I said, hopefully someday in the near future, he will be given an opportunity.
Yeah. Put that into context. Sure. 400 runs is like 10,000. 400 wickets is like 10,000 runs in first class cricket. It's like the Mike Hussey story, right? From where Australia is. You got to just keep breaking that door. They put another door, break that one down, and hopefully you make you get through. But the thing about Trinidad and Tobago as a nation of cricketers is there's so many cricketers that people talk about. I mean, you look at the West Indies team; it's dominated by Trinidad. Yes, you've got a couple of Bajans and Guyanese in there, but it's really dominated by Trinidad cricket. What is it about Trinidad that's such a breeding ground for young, exciting cricketers? That every other day it seems like there's a new young and exciting cricketer coming out of there.
I think firstly we have a lot of schooling, a lot of academies. I think that's a very crucial thing. So you get that exposure from a pretty young age, in terms of academy and clubs. I think the clubs have been doing an excellent job, especially the club at Port of Spain, Queen's Park, which is probably the most famous club in Trinidad. They've produced a lot of world-class players, and they continue to do so. So I think it's a great thing that they do, and so to speak in the rest of the country. I think from grassroots, there's a lot of exposure for the youngsters, and you know, there's obviously where we see the young talent, and then you work with them. So yeah, we produce a lot of world-class players, and we continue to do so, and hopefully, you know, we will continue to.
Yeah, and you guys dominate. You guys dominate the local scene there. But on that note, you've had a chance to obviously captain quite a bit. You had a chance to captain Trinidad, and you were given West Indies captaincy at a very young. I guess not necessarily from an age-wise, but international age. You hadn't played that many games, and you were given captaincy. I mean, I know you're not a selector, but why do you think they saw what did they see in you to say Jason has the ability to captain a side? And then my second part to that is how were you able to manage some of these very strong egos in the team as well, both from Trinidad and internationally?
I think they went to my way a little bit because, you know, coming up in all the youth level, obviously I was captain of Trinidad and Tobago team. Probably I think the most successful captain at youth level in terms of under 15 and under 19 in terms of winning titles. And then moving on to the senior team for Trinidad and Tobago for a couple of years. So, you know, I have the experience of doing it. And not only that, you know, when I captain, I do very well as well. You know, and sometimes, you know, that's what it said. You need a leader that leads from the front. So it's something that I'm accustomed doing. And I think I have a very good knowledge of the game. I think I'm someone that kind of stay calm under pressure. Sometimes you do crack, but majority of the time I stay calm. I think that's something very important as a leader to try and calm the group of, you know, players around you, especially when things get tense, when things are not going your way. And yeah, in terms of, you know, playing with guys who obviously have played a lot more than me that I captain and with the big ego and stuff, I think that, you know, I have a good relationship with, I think, most of the guys around the Caribbean. And I think it's just something with I respect, you know, going back and forth. You know, I only respect for them. They only respect for me as a leader. And I think they made my job easy, honestly speaking. Obviously, it's international cricket where it's the biggest stage. But, you know, it's something that I enjoy doing. Obviously, to captain West Indies, it's a huge honor to do so. So I think that's the reason why they went to me. I'm someone that can stay calm most of the time when it's needed.
How calm were you when they came to you for the first time? I think it was in 2018 against England, and they came in and said, "Hey, Jason, we want you to captain the team here." How calm were you then?
I think that time I thought it was a bit nervy for me because obviously Jason Holder was the captain, but he had a death in his family, and you know I had was to fill in for him for that game. So it wasn't something that I knew before a couple of weeks. It was just like a day or two before. So obviously I was very nervous. That was my first time captaining the international team, but I think I handled it pretty okay. I had a lot of senior guys around me in terms of Chris Gale, the man, and Marlon Samuels and those guys. So they made it easy for me and they made me feel comfortable.
Jason, I wanted to know is there anybody upcoming? Because I remember when I asked Royce and Crandon this question years and years ago, who's the next up and coming Guyanese player? He told me Shimron Hetmeyer, and he was, I think, 15 years old. You have the likes of Nicholas Puran, who somebody told me as well years ago, watch out for this guy, Nicholas Puran. Any super talent in Trinidad right now that you want to call out right now that's going to be a star?
I don't know much of the younger guys in terms of under 15 or under 19 because I haven't been around that much, but I think there are a couple of guys about 19, 20 years old. I think they'll be very well. We have a young guy called Cephas Cooper. He plays with my club at Powershire, and he played a couple of games for Trinidad last year. I think he's someone that is going to do very well at international cricket. We have another guy, a young Simmons, Keegan Simmons, the nephew of Lendl Simmons. Yeah. I think he's someone that is very talented as well. So hopefully he can blossom in a couple of years. I think we have a young fast bowler. I think he's going to play for West Indies pretty soon. I think he's standby right now on the test team, a young guy called Jaden Seals. I think probably out of the three, I think he's probably the most exciting, and you know, hopefully he can get that opportunity soon and really show what he's with. So there's a lot of guys, but I think those three, in terms of young guys between that 19 to 21, I think they're probably the three best that we have right now in the country.
And who would you say in the West Indies team is the funniest guy? Like who's the absolute clown of the West Indies team?
Right now, I think that's good. That's gonna be Puran. He never stays quiet. He talks all the time. The only time he doesn't talk is in his sleep, I guess. But
You can hear him behind the stumps too.
Yeah, all time, all day.
Well, on that note, I know you guys don't have roommates for the West Indies. I don't think you do for Trinidad either. But if you had a roommate, who would be the worst roommate? Like, who would you not want to room with?
Probably Puran.
Worst roommate. Not because it's something that we have differences, but probably since I've played to now, probably Akil Hussein. He talks too much as well, man. He's very close to Puran. He never stays quiet. If you're watching TV and you just zooming into a movie, he will start a conversation out of nowhere. But we are very good friends, so we actually room for the Super 50. So,
cool. Jason is like Jason. Like, we know you, man, as like Mr. Cool. You know, down here in Toronto. Like, you are never fazed by any of the sledging, any of the trash talk that we tried to get under your skin.
And we tried. We definitely tried. But that your temperament and stuff like that, and it's even showing in international cricket that you're not fazed, and everything you said about captaincy and why you're, you know, the right man for the job and have had success and everything. It's kind of no surprise with us. What would you say in terms of, now you played in Canada, obviously, what would you say, you know, the standard is here? What would you think would want to improve here in Canada based on what you've seen? Because I know, like, you know, we're both cricketers. There's no question that there's a lot of talent here, but what do you think is missing here?
I think, well, judging from when I was there, I think the competition was pretty good, to be honest. I think it was sound strange, but I pretty based it very close to our club cricket back at home, because there'll be club cricket in Canada as well. I think, obviously, as you said, there's a lot of talent there. I think the difference is the time that guys has to spend on the game, because we know, being in Canada, being in the States, you know, it's guys, they have to work. And I think that's a huge difference between Trinidad and there. You know, guys are allowed that extra time to go to the nets, to work on the game, to go to practice, where you can have people pointing out certain things. I think that's the biggest difference that I see. I think in terms of talent, I think you guys are very well, to be honest. But I think that, as I said, the practice and, you know, just having that time to iron out your game, I think it's very difficult for the guys there. And then when it's winter and stuff, obviously it's a huge factor that you can't practice, you can't do the things you want to do. So I think that's the only thing I can say. Obviously, if it's indoor and you can spend more time there, you know, as a player with a coach, because you need guys to point out certain things. You can pick up certain things as a player for yourself, but you need that person to actually point out certain things that you can work on to make yourself better.
For sure, 100%. And what the next question I had was around fitness. Like, I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I kind of really think that where cricket is heading and where sort of fitness and athletics is heading in the direction of cricket in terms of in Trinidad or for West Indies, like why like you're looking beast, man. Like Puran and these guys, like you guys are all looking like you're in really good shape. Are you doing anything different? What's the fitness regime like for you guys?
No, well, it's a lot different now from a couple of years ago. Obviously, there's fitness standard now in universities where if you don't pass, you know, you will not be available for selection. So now it's something that is always needed in sports. You need to be fit. We're always fit guys, but we never pay that much attention to it, I would say a couple of years ago. But now you have no choice, so to speak. And obviously it's a huge part of the game. When you're fit, you know, everything seems that much easier, you know. Mm-hmm. You're not tired as often as you used to. Obviously, when you get tired, because you're a little bit fitter, your mental strength it's better. I think it's a huge part, you know, in your game. And for myself, I can say for the last couple of years, all of age and at my oldest point now in terms of cricket, I'm fitter than what I used to be at 25 and 26 at 34. So it's something that it's very important for not only for cricket, but I guess all sports person will be listening or hearing about it. I think it's very crucial.
You talk about fitness and you talk about patience a little bit earlier as well. Knowing you're usually a pretty slow starter when you get out to the crease. It was at most evident when he scored 91 not out against Pakistan in 2017. Talk to us about that innings. It wasn't your ODI debut. You'd made that in 2011, but it was kind of your coming out party. Does that innings play a special place in your heart?
Yeah, obviously, as you said, I always say the same thing, whether it's T20 for the cricket or 50. I'm a slow starter, and I think that comes with age and knowledge of the game. You need to understand yourself, you know. So I will start pretty slowly, but as I go along, I pick up the pace pretty well, and I can score quickly. Obviously, that game against Pakistan, obviously it's somewhere right up there with my best inning. Obviously, it's my best international inning because it's my highest score. I really enjoyed that day, and it's a day I will never forget. We also created history as a team that is the first that West Indies chased over 300 in an ODI game and won. With all the legend and all the great players passing through for us as a team, to do that obviously add a little bit more to that day, and obviously was a very special day for me and the team.
It was something that I remember because it's obviously something that we watched, and again, being fans of you, it seems like anybody that from the West Indies that comes to play in Toronto, they hold a special place in with Canadians, and we support them through and through. And obviously, you're one that stands out. My last question to you, and this I'll say this: I had this question written down before I saw you today, and then I saw you, and you're wearing a Manchester United shirt. As we do this, I was going through your Instagram. You've had a chance to go to Old Trafford. Tell us about Manchester United and that special place that it plays in it has in your heart as well.
Dwight York, baby.
Yeah, obviously growing up, that was the starting point for me supporting Manchester United. Obviously, with Dwight being there as a Trinidadian, it's obviously my favorite footballing club in the world, and I was very fortunate to actually be there to show a live game. So yeah, anytime Manchester is playing, definitely I will be watching, or I'm always updating. I actually follow Manchester United on Instagram, so I can know all the updates and stuff. I love Man U and don't like seeing them lost. Obviously, it hurts, but it's all part of the game. But yeah, obviously, they're a special team in my heart. It's my favorite sport after cricket, and I support Man U all the time. Win, lose, draw, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, Manchester will always be red. That's for certain. Sure. Jason, thank you very much for your time. You were very gracious. You've just gotten home, and you're very gracious with your time. The way we like to end our episodes is to give you the final words. So anything you want to say to anybody, feel free. You have a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, whatever you want.
Yeah, well, firstly, let me just say thanks for having me on your guys' program. Obviously, someone that you thought about to have on your program that can say something that can help someone in their career. Doesn't matter what sport it is, but especially in cricket. So thanks for that. And I just want to say to anyone that will hear this interview or see this interview that in sports, obviously, it's a great sacrifice, especially in this game of cricket. It takes away a lot of your time. It takes away a lot of your youth days, so to speak, in terms of partying or being out with friends. But I guess it's something that you love. You have to sacrifice. It's a game that you need to work hard, very hard at all your skills. And it's a game that where, as a batsman, speaking for myself, you feel probably a lot more than you perform. And I think it's something that mental strength is something that is going to take you through. And your fitness is most important. But in saying that as well, mental strength, it has not always been my strongest point, obviously, when you're going through a bad time, because obviously it's my job, it's my career, so it gets stuff on me. So obviously that's where I give a lot of credit to my good friends, my family, my parents, my wife. They are the ones that still have me going, to be honest. And I think it's something very important to all young people coming up and playing this game. As I said, any other sporting activities, it sometimes gets a little bit tough for you as a person, but you will always find a person or those person that you can turn to help you through those periods of time. And they're also very crucial, not only for myself. So I don't only obviously play this game for myself to do well. I think I put more joy in this person's life rather than more in my life, I can say, when I do well. So, as I said, hopefully whatever we speak about tonight, whether it came from my side or you guys' side, it will help some young person be better, not only in their sporting life, but in life in general, which is a tough thing. Life is never easy. You will have tough days, you will have good days, just as everything else. So, as I said, hopefully we can inspire someone to be better in life generally, and something that we said can put a smile on somebody's face, which is most important.
100%. 100%.
Class act, man. Jason Shadow Mohammed.